Hi guys, it's Mike here from Comp3 Interactive. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something that plagues a lot of new Unity developers, and that is how to anchor UI elements to different areas of your screen. So this may be quite basic for some of you, but I know for a fact this is going to help a lot of new developers. And if you've clicked on this video, I'm going to assume you need some help with this. So in this video, we're going to be going through the basics of how to anchor different UI elements to different corners or the center of your screen so it appears in the same position on different screen resolutions. So before we get started with that, I just want to thank Gigatank3000 for sponsoring this video. I've got his links down in the description below. Go check him out on Twitter, go check out his website and keep up to date with what he's doing. And I also just want to thank everybody supporting me over on Patreon. So that's Brandon Zill, Steve UK, Matt Parkin and Raf. You guys are fantastic. I love you. So I've quickly set up a little bit of a UI system. Not really a system, more of a design, and it's not even that much of a design. But this is kind of like what you'd usually see in your own games. So we can see I've had my game view set to this size on a 16:9 landscape orientation. But now if I change the screen size, nothing happens. The UI doesn't scale, and that's extremely annoying. But to fix that, all we need to do is go to our canvas object that's rendering these UI elements. We'll change our canvas scaler, and the UI scale mode won't be constant pixel size, it'll be scale with screen size. And we're going to notice a bit of a difference here. And as you notice, everything's got a little bit smaller, but that's just the way that the canvas is now rendering these objects. So if we go in and select all of these objects and scale them back up, you're obviously going to be a lot more precise than this, but we can scale those back up, and now all the UI elements scale with our object. So that's fixed one problem. But this will only be good looking UI on any device that's running at a 16:9 orientation, because that's what we've set it up as. If we were to go up here in our game view and change this to an 18:9, we can see that it hasn't scaled like we expect. We're cutting off the top and the bottom of our panel. And this is where the actual hierarchy comes into play. So we know that this background green object is our actual background. And all of these are child objects of this background. And currently the background object is set with an anchor point to just be in the direct center. It won't resize to fit the orientation. It's going to keep its actual size, and it's just going to plonk itself right in the very center of the screen. And we don't want that. We want this background to stretch with our screen orientation, our screen size. So we can click on our anchor options up here, and we get a whole host of anchor presets. Now, each one of these is good in their own right, and the one that you need is going to depend on how your UI looks. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what all of these do. So the ones along the left side and the top side are basically just your masters. It's the ones inside that you're actually interested in. And as you can probably tell by the red lines around it, it's going to change the anchor position of that object to be whatever you like. So if we were to change the background layer's anchor position to the top, and then we changed our orientation to, or the resolution to 18:9 again, we see it's anchored to the top, so we don't cut off the top, but we do cut off the bottom. Why do I keep selecting portraits? Because I'm used to doing mobile games. But center is the one that we want for this. But as you can see on the outside round here, we have stretching options. And what these are going to do, these are going to stretch along the side of the screen where the red line is. So this one will stretch along the top edge of your screen, this one horizontally along the center, horizontally along the bottom, and then you've got your verticals down at the bottom. And then this one, right in the bottom right-hand corner, is just to stretch it completely to match the screen size. So if we go ahead and select that one for our background layer, so this will now stretch completely dependent on the resolution of our screen. If we change that back to 18:9, we can see now our background layer is perfectly fitting inside of our screen, regardless of the resolution or orientation, which again is perfect. But you may have noticed that the other icons are following suit, And again, this is where we come back into the hierarchy. So now we have our background object stretching. We can select all of our icons and drag and drop them as a child of the background object. Now that won't fix our problem, but the way that the rect transform anchors work is this is based on the parent object. The actual anchor position is based on the parent object. So if we just take a quick look at a red icon up here, we can see that we're still set to be centered. So now, whenever we change resolution or orientation, this red icon is going to try and stick towards the center point of the parent object, which is this green background. And we don't want that. We want that to stay up in this top right corner. And again, we do that through our anchors. Now this time, we're going to select the top right anchor right here. If we select that, now, whenever we resize, this is going to look like it's in the same position as it is now. So if we go back to 18 by 9, we see it drops down and it stays within that confine. So we can go ahead and do that for the rest of our icons. We'll select the grey one. This one's going to stay in the top right. The blue one, we'll select bottom left. And then the green one, we'll select bottom right. And the orange one needs to be in the center. So now if we resize again, everything drops in and it looks like it's intended. And we can also swap to a portrait view and we'll see they still snap to their actual respective corners and the center. Now that is just the basics of positioning your UI. There's a lot more to go into when it comes to these anchors. So if you do want to learn more about this, just let me know in the comments below. And I can start covering all the other aspects like the pivot points, the scaling, the stretching, anything like that. I just wanted this to be an introduction to getting your UI looking as good as you possibly can at an early stage. So I hope this has been useful for you, and I hope you're going to subscribe. If you like the content, please subscribe, and if you do, I'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the content, remember to subscribe to the channel for weekly Unity tutorials.